Sanding is necessary, but it creates dust that's not good for your lungs. It also gets sand dust all over the shop. One solution to solving the sanding dust problem is to build a downdraft sanding table. The premise is to connect a shop vac or a vacuum source underneath the table so that when you sand an object, then all the dust goes through the holes into the shop vac and not into the air. I built this table that has a router plate on one end, and I wanted a downdraft sanding station at the other end. I started this build by laying out where the 2x4 cross members are underneath the tabletop. And I marked those locations in blue dry erase marker. The next, I wanted to see where the box frame was going to be, and it's going to be out of 2x4s as well. And I marked those locations with red dry erase marker. What this left me with was the locations for the holes that are going to have to be drilled in the tabletop. And I marked that grid using a green dry erase marker so I would know where to drill my holes. I wound up drilling 126 3/4 inch diameter holes. After drilling all the holes, then I used a round over bit on all of the holes to make a little bit smoother transition. With the tabletop finished, it was time to start building the box for underneath. I used 2x4s for frame and then some 1/2 inch plywood glued and drilled on the bottom of the box. I also wanted to create an incline inside of the box so that the dust would fall down towards the vacuum inlet. Then I started applying caulk to the inside to make it as airtight as possible. I installed the incline using a 1/2 inch piece of plywood and glued it in place. Next, I used a 2-inch hole saw, cut 2 holes, and then I used a saber saw to join the 2 holes. This is a shop vac adapter, and I'm going to screw it to the bottom of the box. Before I screwed it on, I installed some weather stripping to seal it up to the bottom of the box. Next, I put weather stripping on top of the box to seal it to the bottom of the table. The box is complete, and now I'm going to build the clamps that are going to hold the box to the bottom of the table. I'm using 2x4s, and they stretch from one side of the table to the other. I have a hinge on one side and a 5/16 stud on the other side with a wing nut. These clamps will press the box up against the bottom of the table. It will still allow the box to be removed for cleaning or to fish out a small object if I drop something in one of the holes. You can see I allowed the studs to be a little bit longer to adjust for the height. This allows me to adjust how much pressure the clamps put on the box to press it on the bottom of the table. We'll hook up the vacuum hose to the adapter. The dust did go down into the table, so the downdraft table is working.